5 of immigration riots in Los Angeles, and now they are growing around the country. Tonight, we have the story from all angles, from all cities. Live pictures right now of what are, and we have to acknowledge, peaceful protests in Los Angeles. There have been a lot of arrests, about 150 so far today. Mayor Karen Bass just announced a curfew that takes effect 2 hours from now, 8 p.m. local time in Los Angeles until 6 in the morning. Those curfews allow police to make mass arrests. But the situation on the ground is starting to pick up. We figure out when the curfew goes into effect, whether or not they will enforce it, how violent it gets. Large groups with Mexican flags, that is the common flag you see being carried, have blocked the 101 freeway on and off during rush hour. The Department of Homeland Security reports that some rioters in the crowds were throwing Molotov cocktails a little bit early. And now it is not just Los Angeles. City of Chicago, where ICE raids have been happening over the past week. Activists say immigrants are being lured into immigration appointments before being detained by federal officers. Mass crowds heading through Chicago. And when it comes to these protests, nothing could be better politically for Donald Trump. Donald Trump knows that, and he also knows nothing could be worse for Democrats. Cuomo made a great point. Was this mismanaged? Yes, but it was mismanaged because Democrats can't be seen as taking the same side of Donald Trump. Donald Trump wants the riots to stop. Democrats are loath to agree with him. And there is this chaos right now, and this chaos feeling on America's streets. The fight between California's Democratic leaders and Donald Trump is intensifying. Huge show tonight. Chris Cillizza on whether the riots are the beginning or the end of Gavin Newsom's presidential hopes. Former LAPD Lieutenant Jeff Weiner tells us how law enforcement can restore order, and former Deputy Assistant Attorney General Tom Dupree, huge question here on whether the Supreme Court can order the National Guard back to their barracks. If you listen to Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom, and we're going to hear from Newsom probably at about 9:30 tonight Eastern, so in a half an hour, they will tell you all the looting and rioting is the fault of, watch for this word, outside agitators. And somehow the National Guard, thus Donald Trump, is the real problem.
I do not believe that individuals that commit vandalism and violence in our city really are in support of immigrants. They have another agenda.
Right, so it's outside agitators. Then the mayor and the governor of California both support the state's sanctuary city laws. That is a huge part of this story. And we have to remember how this all started, all the rioting started. Because immigration officers went into neighborhoods to arrest illegal immigrants with criminal records. Why did they have to go into those neighborhoods? Because LAPD and the sheriff's office in Los Angeles will not help federal immigration officers. They won't help enforce the laws of this country. So Bass says the raids were the problem. So you can compare Karen Bass, mayor of Los Angeles, to Trump's version of events.
If we want to look at the cause of what is happening here, I take it back to raids that took place on Friday.
The governor of California, the mayor of Los Angeles, they're incompetent, and they paid troublemakers, agitators, and insurrectionists. They're engaged in this willful attempt to nullify federal law.
Democrats in California believe enforcing federal law is making Los Angeles unsafe, therefore the riots. And the riots then are Trump's fault. Gavin Newsom says the National Guard is making things worse. In their eyes, it is escalating the situation. And look, I've been in a lot of protests like this. I've been in a lot of protests that turned into riots. That logic is a bunch of bunk. To believe Democrats, you must believe that enforcing the law is provocative or escalatory. In reality, what is provocative is not enforcing the law. That's how you get looting. But at their core, the riots give both political bases what they want. The political reality is clear. The base that wants criminal migrants deported and riots to stop is a lot bigger than those who want our cities taken over by mobs waving Mexican flags and looting the local Foot Locker store.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.